Hey, what's going on? Jason here. All right, in this video, we're going to build out some of the most common automations. All righty, and there's a bunch, right? But I'm gonna roll with what I consider the basic. We will quickly we'll just rebuild some of these together. In the last video, I showed you lead magnet automation. We'll go ahead and do that again. Okay, so let's make some of these. Let's do sample number one, and we're going to call it lead magnet delivery. And you have the freedom to change what you call it or whatever, but conceptually, let's understand what's happening. Okay, somebody's going to opt into your list. I usually set a lead magnet to trigger based on a list subscription. You could also do it other ways people do it. If you're using ActiveCampaign forms, you can do it by submitting a form. You can do it by adding a tag. All of those make sense for a lead magnet. Pick one, right? Whatever works for you, whatever makes sense. It's really going to come from one list. It's going to run once. And here's how I would set it up. When somebody opts in to receive something, they're giving you their name, their phone number, or something, you want to deliver that email immediately. You don't want to wait, okay? So I'm just going to burn through these, and you get to watch me over the shoulder. And we'll just call it lead magnet delivery. And I'm just going to frame them out. I'm not going to actually select templates because none of that matters. So this is more a lesson in architecture, okay? And you'll get a bit of strategy here as well. So we're going to give them what we promised them. We are going to wait one day. And then what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to always flow these people into what I call a welcome series automation. We'll do that automation next. So these people would have to go into a welcome list, and I'll use that subscription to trigger the next automation, and these people will be done. Okay? So here's what I'm doing here. The reason I use a list subscription, you don't want contacts in your ActiveCampaign account that don't belong to a list. You don't want orphan contacts, okay? Because for an email to be sent out, they have to be subscribed to a list. Otherwise, you just kind of get lost in there. And the way you would identify that, it's a bit off topic, but I'm going to show you. If you go to all your contacts and you go to lists and you go to none, we have an orphan contact. You'll see people you have, and I've seen people with thousands that had no idea that matters. So let's get them to a list. When in doubt, pop them on the master list, okay? All right, so we've got our lead magnet automation set up. Again, let's pretend this is ready to go. It's active. Everything's good. Next, like I said, it's going to trigger this welcome series automation after a day. So what I would typically do for a welcome series, we will call, what am I doing? I've clicked myself into the wrong area. You were supposed to keep me on topic. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Sample number 2. We'll start it from scratch. We will do a welcome series or a welcome sequence, whatever you want. They're synonyms, right? Okay, we'll call this one sample number 2, welcome series. And this is the automation that nobody's expecting, right? It's going to be triggered from subscribing to the welcome list one time. It's a one-time journey for people. This is your opportunity to introduce your subscriber to your world. Let them know what you do. If you have a backstory to share, it's a great time to do it. The key is you're not selling in this automation. There's no let's get on a call. There's no go to my sales page. If you do it right, it's like the getting to know you period in any new relationship. Okay? Value, value, value. Just to show you, let me show you the open rates. So nobody knows they're getting this. You would love to see an open rate of 22% or more in any industry, just as a baseline. Let me show you what mine look like currently, just so you can see this thing has value. All right. We are going to check out my welcome. All right, main welcome 2.0. My second iteration. So I've got some things going on here. First email is just what I told you. Here's what we do. Here's a video I made introducing me so they can put a name with a face, which is kind of cool. Teach them how to whitelist. tell them what to expect, and put my links to my social channels. Email number 2 is a super value packer. It's like a 15-20 minute screen share video, because I know exactly what my audience is going to be interested in. And then a little bit later, I give them another demo of a software that's going to be super interesting to my audience, so it's super value focused. What do you think the open rates are going to look like? Is it going to be 22%? Oh. 74, 75, 71. Pretty insane, right? When you get the right people into your list and they're interested in what you're doing, the results can be quite special. All right, so back to this welcome series automation. People come in. We're going to go. This is what I do. You can vary, you can add, you can subtract, you can make it your own. Let's see, not example. Email number 1, welcome. All right, with a welcome, I've done this with a lot of people, and I've always done it for myself. And again, I'm not doing templates, I'm just framing it out for you. I always just go with a 1-day wait in between emails. That's it. You know, people are interested, boom, boom, boom. I'm not trying to sell them stuff, so it's not irritating. You want to pique their curiosity early, I'll tell you that. Email number 2. Okay, design later. We're going to do a 1-day wait. That's going to be your default option there on the waits. And email 3. And let's say, just to teach you something new, let's say for whatever reason, when you got to the bottom of this, let's say when somebody gets that last welcome, you wanted to know about it. So you can actually send a notification email to yourself. This is internal, right? So if I want to send this to myself, what I typically do is type in my address. Instead of my name, it's me sending myself something, I'm just going to write notifications, and then my from email that I want that to come from, I'm just going to take my root domain and leave it and type in notifications. And it works fine. Even though that's not a real email address of mine, it'll work fine. This contact has finished the welcome. And I don't really care about that, but this is just an example. All right. Then your message, you can link to the contact, create a link of contact fields, or you can do something personalized, right? The following, let's see. So if I didn't even put a message to myself, I just want to put who they were. I could do first name, space, last name, just the relevant info. Let's say I cared about this, right? So just so I could see at a glance who it was, their phone number, and it's going to pull this out of their custom fields and email address. Let's say that's all I wanted to know. I get the notification that has that info, nothing else. If you click this link, it will show you every single custom field in your account. If you have like 25 or more, the email is going to be so confusing. You're going to go, I don't have any idea what I'm looking at. What is this? It gets really overwhelming. So there you go. And let's say you were going to drop them into your newsletter. Since we just hit them with 3 emails in a row, let's give them what I call a cooling off period. Let's give them a break. 3 emails should be fine. And then we are going to subscribe them into our newsletter list from this welcome. Okay, so we're going to go to the master contact list. And then we're going to end this automation. And this is definitely an automation you want to run one time. Okay, so let's say you had 3 lead magnets that all fed into this. If this was set to run multiple times, they'd go through it every time they opted into a lead magnet. And some people will want all your lead magnets, right? It's a normal thing. So that's active now. So we've got the lead magnet. We've got the welcome series. Let's go a little different direction here. Let's do the order confirmation email, right? Now, if you get in here and play with this, you'll realize it's pretty user friendly. You'll be your own worst enemy. You may get too many ideas and make something really complicated, but you got to play with it to figure it out a little bit. Sample 3, order confirmation. Just mixing it up, right? This is probably going to be list or tag. Let's say they go to the customer list. This could run multiple times, right? People could buy from you more than once. Let's say you have e-com or you're selling a course or coaching or something like that. This model would apply. You want to give them an email right away. Order I'll design later. And then in this case, they've already bought. So you probably, you're going to say, hey, we got your order. Here's your link, or here's what you need to know. Probably want to let them cool for a day and pop them into your main list. I like the main list to be a mix of people who have bought and people who haven't. It's everybody. Okay. Obviously, you set all that up, flip it active. So there's that example as well. I could really go on and on and on and on, but that gives you 3 ideas. Lets you see how things work. Again, for lead magnets, you could use form submissions, subscribing to a list, or even tags. Welcome series, you could use subscribing to like a welcome list or a tag as well. Order confirmation is probably going to be a list or a tag. In some cases, it could be a list and or a tag, but for these 3, there's no reason to do a conditional trigger. Just one simple trigger and move forward, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Other common automations, there could be re-engagement automations. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff. Something else. Something else could be, let's do one more. We'll call this like a client onboarding. Okay, like somebody's become a client. Let's say you have a process or instructions that everybody that works with you has got to follow. Okay, and this is going to be service-based, right? You've got investors or clients or things like that. This wouldn't really be for e-com. Client onboarding. Okay. This is, probably going to be list triggered. Makes sense to me. Doesn't have to be. And let's just call these people investors. Run this once. And we're going to set them up. I don't know what the process is, right? Email 1. Design later. It just really depends. But, even in this case, they're going to expect some stuff, over a couple days or whatever. We'll just do 2 emails here now. Okay. Then same thing that you've been seeing. I'd wait a day or so. Make sure they get to that main list. And I know I'm burning through this, but once you start fooling with it, you'll get comfortable with it as well. And ActiveCampaign for a long time was really just lagging and running slow, but as you see, mine's running good. Okay. Client onboarding, depending on your business, it could be multiple times, could be once, so whatever makes sense for your particular application. Could be 3 emails. I generally try to deliver what I need to tell people in 1 email. Sometimes I'll build in a bit of logic, which I'll show you in a future section of the course. If they haven't opened this email in 3 days, resend them the same email, that type of thing. So I'll show you that in a different video, but that's what I typically do. So I don't drag this out too long. Sometimes I'll see people with like 4 or 5 emails, but my advice would be, they're going to have the most attention, especially if it's a bigger investment in you or your services. They're going to have a lot of attention on you right away. So there you go. There's 4 common examples that you may need in your business. Hell, you may need all of them in your business, but it gives you an idea of kind of how to set them up. Okay. Hope this helps you. See you in the next video.